Welcome guys back to another video on the channel. We are doing another episode of Arsenal Transfer News Daily. We haven't got as such breaking news today, but I do want to discuss some things including the state of play of Thomas Partey and Aouar. I also want to discuss Lucas Torriera to Atletico Madrid, as reports today are suggesting that personal terms have been agreed between Atleti and Torriera. And also we'll be discussing the future of Reece Nelson, as apparently the Athletic David Ornstein are reporting that he could be leaving on loan. So let's get straight into it. First of all, we're talking about Lucas Torriera and Atletico Madrid. There's reports suggesting from Fabrizio Romano, the main guy. We'll be looking at his statements. He says that Lucas Torriera has agreed personal terms with Atletico Madrid. He's keen to join, but agreement with Arsenal has not been reached yet. Atleti needs to sell Hector Herrera to sign Torriera. Now that is what has been said by Fabrizio Romano. I only trust this guy 100%. Whatever he says is always true. So yeah, Atletico Madrid and Lucas Torriera looks like it's getting very, very close. It looked like obviously Torriera was going to go to Italy, Fiorentina and Torino. Both teams had deals agreed with Arsenal, but personal terms were agreed as well. But apparently something was stalling in that deal, and then Atletico Madrid, and then we found out that Diego Simeone has personally called Lucas Torriera to find out if he wants to join, and then personal terms have been agreed. But Atleti need to sell players before they can buy Torriera, as suggested by Romano. He says that need to sell Hector Herrera. Now, in my opinion, Arsenal can't wait, because we have our own targets to get into. Obviously Aouar, Partey, we'll be getting into that in a bit. We're looking at the state of play. Fabrizio Romano has also given updates on Aouar and Partey, but on Torriera, we can't be waiting for Atleti to sell their players before we sell him to them, because we need the money to go after the likes of Aouar and Partey, because we need those players. We need Aouar and Partey. We'll get into that in a bit, obviously, but I think we should be letting Lucas Torriera go as quickly as possible to Atletico Madrid. I think he'll be the best for all parties, and I think just get it done somehow, some way, put some sort of obligation to buy. Fabrizio Romano also did say that there is going to be a buyout. Is there going to be a buy option? Is there going to be an obligation to buy? There isn't no confirmation on that. Arsenal are still negotiating with Atletico Madrid. But my thinking is they've just sold Alvaro Morata to Juventus, obviously 8 million loan deal and 45 million euros next year. So Atleti clearly have the money, and I think Arsenal are trying to use that to their advantage to try and get a deal done for Lucas Torriera on upfront money. To maybe 5 million of that Alvaro Morata money they can pay up front to Arsenal from this year, and then next year obligation to buy for 20 million. Again, they'll have that next year because of the Morata money. So Arsenal will be fully aware of that situation, and I think we just need to get Lucas Torriera off our books as soon as possible. Very interesting to see if he plays tonight against Leicester City in the Carabao Cup. Again, will I think he'll play? I don't think he'll play, to be honest. I think he's under favourite under Mikel Arteta, and I think he wants him to leave, to be honest. And what a disaster it will be if he gets injured and then he has to stay with Arsenal. It won't be great. So I think Mikel Arteta is looking to get him off the books as soon as possible. But again, I can't say much more than that. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you think he'll be the worst thing if we have to keep hold of Lucas Torriera? Do you think we should let him go in a buy option with an obligation, or do you think we should try and get the money up front? Because Torino wanted the money up front. They were willing to give the money up front. I don't know why Arsenal didn't just go for it. In terms of Thomas Partey, I want to go on that in a bit, because there is a bit of link on Atleti on that. So I want to go into that in a bit. But first of all, we're just going to conclude this bit on Lucas Torriera. The reports suggesting today that personal terms have been agreed with Atletico Madrid, as suggested with Fabrizio Romano, but no deal with Arsenal has been struck yet. But Atleti are looking to sell players. But in my opinion, Arsenal shouldn't wait for that and try and get a deal done as soon as possible. Next bit of news, we'll be looking at Thomas Partey. Now we'll be talking about the state of play for that deal. If you don't know what state of play means, it's basically where the deal is out, whether it'll get done or not. I just want to discuss it. I want to give you a bit of an update because things look so unclear at the moment, and also we'll be doing the same for Aouar, doing a quick state of play on that. So let's get straight into it. First of all, we'll be talking about Thomas Partey. The player will be linked for about a year, but no cash bid has been made. We put in Lacazette, Torriera, Guendouzi. To be honest, we put Torriera in the swap deal, but Atleti weren't interested. It's quite confusing, what's going on in that respect. Now, I just want to clear up one thing for you guys. Obviously, Atletico Madrid, they're in a financial, rebuff. They don't have a lot of money now. If you're too young or you don't understand these things, try and understand it as best as possible. I will try and explain it as best as possible. So because they had to use, if you're in England and you know what the furlough system is, Spain have a similar system to the furlough system, and Atletico Madrid had to use that system. Atleti had to put their staff on furlough. Now, because they've done that, any transfer they make, let's say they sign Lucas Torriera for 25 million euros, yeah, the government will take 25% of that They will take 25% off £25 million. Now, the reason Atletico Madrid are so determined to get the 50 million euros for Thomas Partey is because the way release clauses work in Spain is that the 50 million euros is wired to Partey, and then Partey pays it to Atletico to pay out his contract. Now, in that instance, Atleti don't have to pay the government because it's going through the player. It's not going through a club. It's going through the player because the player wants to buy out his contract. So Atleti get the 50 million euros. They basically just get the 50 million euros from the player, and the government don't get a cut from that, which is why from day one of this interest from Arsenal, Atletico Madrid have always had the insistence 50 million euros or nothing. 50 million euros or nothing. Fabrizio Romano has basically said the same thing. It's 50 million euros or nothing. Arsenal, on the other hand, for some reason aren't understanding this and trying to put swap deals in. And now obviously, we just talked about in the last news, Lucas Torriera, a lot of interest in that player. And it does look like, Arsenal trying to do some sort of deal. Reports coming out suggesting that, Atleti are willing to reduce their stance. My opinion is they aren't going to reduce their stance. They really aren't, because they have to give 25% of every transfer to the government. They already have to do that. So, if they get the 50 million euro release clause paid up front in full, Atleti will receive a good money boost in that respect, because it's going through the player. They don't have to give any money to the government. It's fair play to them, because, if Arsenal want him, they will have to pay that money. Other reports suggesting that, AFC Bell obviously talked about them a day or two ago, and they, said that Arsenal would end up doing that. And that is basically the state of play on Thomas Partey. I can't say no more. Will Arsenal trigger that release clause? Will Arsenal not? I don't know. I can't tell you anything, because Fabrizio Romano has also said Arsenal are trying to look to sell players and loan players before they can buy. We'll talk about a player who could potentially loan, like Reece Nelson, in a bit. But that's it for Thomas Partey. To be honest, I can't say no more. Say to players, 50 million euros or nothing. So let's move on now and look at Aouar, the player we've been linked with for the majority of this transfer window, and the price for him is 55 to 60 million euros or nothing. Now the difference here is we can negotiate. There's no release clause. It's not as clear cut as the Thomas Partey deal. Some reports suggesting that Arsenal are trying to get this done first before going for Thomas Partey. Again, I'm not convinced we're going to get both these players. We just have left it too late to get both these players. I won't be surprised if we end up with one of them or none of them. I'll be very, very shocked if we end up with both of them, though, because I think we've left it a bit too late. Now, state of players, we've been interested in him, and we contacted his agents. Personal terms have been agreed, and Juventus and PSG and Man City, they have also been in contact with his agent. I won't be surprised if they've agreed personal terms as well, but I'm not too sure on their side of the spectrum. Other reports suggesting that Man City or Juventus or a Champions League club might put in a late bid for him. I'm not sure that's the case, because Man City are focused on getting Koulibaly in, and that again is quite a complicated deal. I think that will go down to the wire. Again, we're not sure. We don't know what sort of route Man City are taking. Maybe they do put in a last bid for a while. We don't know. So as a club, I think we should be acting quickly to try and sign our targets. That's something we've not done for 9 weeks. Now, their president, Aouar, I don't know how to say his name, John Aouar, whatever his name is, he is said to be a very tough negotiator. And, their stance has always been 55 to 60 million euros. And we haven't bid that. We bid 31 plus Guendouzi. That got straightly rejected. Juninho even said to a radio, so we know, common knowledge, a bid has been rejected. Mikel Arteta was questioned and obviously didn't say anything. But we know, this Arsenal are definitely interested. There's 100% interest in the player. There's no doubt about it. And other reports suggesting that Arsenal will do everything in their attempts to sign them. So if we are, why haven't we put a bid in? Or maybe a bid has been put in and we don't know, because so many weeks have gone by. A bid is coming, a bid is coming, a bid is coming. Is a bid coming? I don't know. There's so much inconsistency within the news about this. And the one key advantage that possibly Arsenal have in this is Edu and Juninho's relationship. The sporting director of Lyon, Juninho, has a very good relationship with Edu. So I'm not sure if why isn't a deal been struck already? Why do we not start negotiating 9 odd weeks ago when we start linked with him? Remember the first video I told you guys, Aouar linked, and that video got quite a bit of views. At that time I thought, wow, why would you want to come to Arsenal? He's playing so well in the Champions League. Why the hell would he want to come to Arsenal? But obviously, as time has progressed, we love the player. Apparently, the board loves love him. Arsenal fans clearly love him because they've gone absolutely insane on him, really wanting him. But again, will the Aouar deal get done? I don't know. Again, I'll say it now. I'll keep saying it. This one's in the balance. If a bid goes in, if it's the right bid, then Lyon will probably accept and we'll move on. I don't think personal terms would be too much of an issue. Competition-wise, I don't think it should be too much of an issue. I don't think Juventus are going to make any bid. PSG look quiet in their department. They look to concentrate on their defence. And again, same in Manchester City. They're going to concentrate on their defence and go after the likes of Koulibaly. So we could have a potentially free hit here. If we leave it too late, if we go next year, more clubs interested, we're flipped. So I think we should try and get this one over the line quickly as possible. This will probably go down to the deadline day. Whether Arsenal will get both Aouar and Partey in conclusion, I am not too sure. This has gone way too late and it's gone way beyond predictability, if I'm honest. And again, Aouar and Partey, we need both of those players. Both of those players will really help, and I think we need at least we need both of them. We need both of them. But if I had to pick, I'd probably save Thomas Partey now. If you asked me like a week or so ago, I would have said Aouar, but I think we need Partey more. You know, that game against West Ham showed we need Partey more than Aouar. That really did show it. You know, we can create, but we just can't, you know, defend at the moment. And now our midfield got so badly exposed. So I'm just going to say both of those deals are in the balance and it's way beyond predictability. So that is the news on Aouar and Partey. Last bit of news I want to touch on quickly is on Reiss Nelson, and reports are suggesting Arsenal made Reiss Nelson available on loan. According to The Athletic, the 20-year-old is not featured for Arsenal this season, has been left out on Mikel Arteta's matchday squads for the Premier League wins over Fulham and West Ham. Nelson just started 7 Premier League games last season, and the winger now faces increased competition for a place in Arsenal's attack following the arrival of Willian. According to The Athletic, Arsenal will allowed Nelson to leave on a temporary order in order to secure more playing time this season. Speaking about Nelson's future last week, Arteta said, "I think they all realise the competition we have in forward positions." He said, "I've already spoken with Reiss about it and I like the way he's training. I think we both agree about how much he's going to improve, how much he has improved in the last few months, and he's going to carry on pushing himself and the rest of the team. He needs to be ready because in football, unfortunately or fortunately, things don't take 3 months to change. It can take 3 minutes. We have to be ready and when the opportunity comes." Nelson expected to make the first appearance of the season on Wednesday evening as Arsenal face Leicester City in the Carabao Cup. So yeah, Nelson, it looks like he's going to be out of the door. And to be honest, again, he's just hasn't been good enough. You know, he was so good at Hoffenheim. You know, he was compared to the likes of Jadon Sancho. He's probably better than him at the start of Nelson's spell at Hoffenheim. But obviously, we know where Jadon Sancho's gone and we know where Nelson's gone. Very, very far apart. And yeah, I think Nelson needs a loan deal. In my opinion, I think this is the best thing for him, and I think most of you guys will agree. But leave your thoughts about that in the comment section down below. But that is the news, and Nelson's reported being he's been put on the loan list basically. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please hit that subscribe. See you guys in the next one. Bye. Why are my outros so weird?